and welcome. My name is Dan Gutierrez. Mic check. Mic check.
Dude.
Dude, are you in the hospital? What is that?
No, lay down.
I gave up on both you guys and I just started this thing by myself. I'm like, no one's gonna show up.
Dude, well, you didn't. I just saw you sent me a link at 5:55.
I also had sent a instant message or whatever it's called, almost an hour before that. I got no response.
It was at 5:21, 5:35.
No,
5:35. It said, "Yo."
Yeah, you read it now. Yeah, 5:25 your time, 6:25 Florida time, normal person time.
I'm being told to go upstairs.
Is it because of me or because you're loud?
Because I'm loud.
No Hispanics allowed in the living room. Even
no. Totally forgot. And wife is making dinner, so now I'm gonna get a cold dinner because of you.
I mean, I could do this by myself, Sam. I don't think anyone's gonna watch just me.
Oh, dude, everybody would watch just you. Here we go.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is much better, I think, for like the visual that you provide there.
Yeah, this is my phone.
And now it's time for show and tell on Hold the Mayo. I was able to buy, while I was there, I bought 4 different clubs and a putter. I'm going to show them to you. I only grabbed one on this one. All right. So, in my trip to Play It Again Sports, here's what I found. And there was a bunch of these there, by the way. There was probably a few hundred clubs, and they were on sale, $1.99 each. Absolutely insane. So I'm looking at, this is a 5-wood. Here. Bring in the screen. It's pretty good shape. It's not messed up. $2. And then I got the irons. Here's the 9 iron. Woo. I got a 3 iron. It's this one here. Woo. I got a pitching wedge. I know it's a pitching wedge because it has the letter P. It looks reversed. I don't know if it looks reversed or not. And I got me a beautiful putter. The putters were actually not on sale. This was still a great deal. Not on the same sale. It was on sale by itself, but it's $10, $9.99 for the putter. So I got enough to get some swings in the backyard. The funny part is though, when you turn 45, you gotta be careful, especially after not swinging the golf club for quite some time. I was out there for probably 30 minutes. I recorded several swings. I'll play the video here. And after those 30 minutes, I thought I had broken my back. So yeah, word to the wise, be careful.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the Egyptian cotton towels. Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York. Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
You need to get a tripod.
Yeah, I need a tripod.
My nickname in high school was Tripod.
I'm sure it was.
I don't know why.
I don't think anybody knew why.
I don't think anybody called me that. My nickname in high school was Air Gudo. I was on the football team.
What does that mean?
So Gudo was like just like the what?
Gouda. It's cheese.
Oh no, not Gouda. Guto.
Okay.
It was my last name, just kind of like, I guess nobody could say it, even though it's not that complicated. And Air, because I never did it in a game, but I did it several times in practice when we were running offensive plays. Like it was like a swing pass, whatever it was. The first person that tried to tackle me, I jumped over them. So
Okay.
yeah.
You didn't want to get hit.
No, I was just trying to be a little more poetic. I got hit several times. Actually, the best story I have about getting hit. I actually have two of them. The first story about getting hit. I was a sophomore in high school. I'd never played football before in my life, and I said, you know what, I could do this. It was shortly after like one of the first John Madden footballs came out
Right.
on Nintendo, and I played it. And in that very first game, all the guys are the exact same size, all those little digital character guys.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, this is easy. I could do this. Never really watched it, never played it. So I go in there. And I was so freshman year, I was probably 5'5". Sorry, sophomore year. 5'5", 110 pounds soaking wet.
That reminds me of fourth grade.
Yeah. Nice. Our school, I went to Gateway High School in Kissimmee. We had one of the worst football programs. I don't think it's ever turned around. One of the worst football programs in the state, probably. So much so that we had a freshman team, which I couldn't play for because I was a sophomore. And we only had freshmen and varsity, no JV team. There weren't enough kids to make a JV team. So I was on the varsity team.
Oh boy.
Let that process for a second. 5'5",
Right.
110 pounds.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's starting to coalesce.
Add on top of that the fact that I had never played football, and my only football experience was John Madden football on the Nintendo. So
right.
they put me on the scrub team. I was on the scrub kickoff return. I don't remember if it was kickoff return or punt return. And there's probably a reason for that. But they kicked the ball, and I was one of the guys that was setting up the wall. I was like, all right, this is easy. So I'm in the wall, and me and the other guys like running basically arm in arm, side by side, shoulder to shoulder, going down the field, setting up the wall for the returner. The very first guy that is coming at me, I'm like, piece of cake, I got this. So I'm going full speed right at this guy. This guy actually passed away like a year or two ago. His name is Randy Donawa. Black dude. He's probably 6'3", 260 pounds, running right at me with a whole full head of steam. And I was like, yeah, I got this. Literally, it was like, bam!
Dude, you killed him.
Yeah, I wish.
It's just delayed impact.
Yeah, I was looking up at the sky. I'm like, what the hell just happened? He ran through me like I was a wet paper bag.
Yeah.
I provided absolute zero resistance, and somehow I got up. I don't know.
I never got. See, I played when I was a kid, and then I got hurt. I was a stud, as much of a stud as you could be when you're 9 years old. And but not with the ball. I was a stud on the offense and defensive line. I was Aaron Donald. I was just a wrecking crew. Loved it. I loved running through people. I'm kind of rough and tumble guy. Loved it. And your light just went all out. Looked like you got candlelight.
Turn it off.
Oh. But I'm going against some dude. I don't know. Never played against him before, but he was bigger than I was. I didn't care. Coaches picked me specifically to show all the other people what it's like not to be scared against who you're going against. Man, I knocked the ball out. He was the one carrying the ball. I knocked the ball out, and then I jumped on it, but he jumped on me. And I fell on the ball. And if you've ever fallen on a ball, it just knocks the wind out, or it can knock the wind out of you so bad. And it felt like I broke a rib or something. I was writhing in pain, and I was just scared. First time I'd ever been hurt. I was 10 years old, so I don't know really what hurt meant on a football field, but man, that hurt. And I cried and cried and cried, and I quit. My dad made me walk. Yeah, my dad made me walk my helmet down to the coach's house. It was probably a mile down the street. Probably not the safest thing you could do these days. But he said, if you're going to quit, I'm not going to take you. And stubborn me, I wanted to show how much of a man I was, that I was going to quit. Weird 10-year-old logic. But that hurt. but then I started playing again in high school or junior high and then high school. And I was okay. I mean, I was on B team, mainly because I was just skinny. I couldn't put on any weight in high school, but I was one of the few freshmen who got to play in the black gold game in high school. Not every freshman was picked, and I did pretty well. But then ended up breaking my ankle and breaking my collarbone and in my knee and all sorts of stuff. I got more stories, but whatever.
War stories.
War stories.
Ah.
He knows too. So
Um,
if we want to turn this into football war stories, I could take lots of time doing that.
yeah, maybe we'll add them in as we go through this. I did want to touch on a couple of topics. I think we're gonna have a commercial break here, and then we'll see what we can talk a little about baseball. Even though I promised we wouldn't, we just have to.
Is it a Tampax commercial for Josh for not showing up?
It's about tampabayrays.
Oh, all right.
So
that's a good little segue.
we'll get that on the other side.
All right.
At a moment like this, I'm glad I used Tampax Pearl.
Tampax Pearl protects better. Only Tampax has a leak guard braid to help stop leaks before they happen. Tampax Pearl protects better.
So, what do you think?
We're prepared to offer cash.
When you get great deals at Denny's,
$5.99.
you'll start to expect great deals everywhere. New all-day diner deals starting at $5.99. 10 delicious meals, only at Denny's.
That is the deal. If one of the 5 people that watches this has a seizure, we'll just blame it on you.
Right. You know what? My apologies for any seizures happening.
All right, cool. Let's jump back into it.
Right.
And we're back.
Woo!
That's from last week. I'd
Yeah.
never seen that. I'd never seen that SNL clip. I may have seen it. I just didn't recall it.
Yeah, y'all were talking about it. I had no idea what you're talking about.
You just look it up on YouTube. It's actually pretty funny. The one that I found was Jimmy Fallon and Ben Affleck, and they're both doing like I guess the joke part of the joke was when you are a talk radio host, you don't talk in your voice. You talk in like this made up voice. It's super exciting and yeah.
Oh.
So that's how they're talking the whole time. And I think when they cut from the air, they talk in their regular voice. So,
well, that's great to hear, Dan. Thanks for that.
And we're back. Yeah, and who else is back? The Tampa Rays are back to back. 11 consecutive wins. They've swept the
awesome.
Tigers, they swept the Nationals, Athletics, and they are 1 win away from sweeping my Red Sox tonight. They play at 6:40. They actually start at 6:40, so that's they're probably kicking their asses right now as we speak. Let me get a quick update on that. It doesn't say it yet. Oh no. It is the bottom of the first inning, and the Rays are winning 3-0. Nice.
Hey, wow.
So
I looked at the roster. I looked at the roster the other day, and okay.
Yeah, so you're not going to see marquee players, right? And that's part of what Josh mentioned last week was the Rays are built very much like the Moneyball concept that the Oakland A's had a couple decades ago, basically.
Right.
That same idea. Keep the budget manageable, develop players, scout, find the right players, find the talent, develop it, and it's paying off. They have Brandon Lowe, their second baseman, is leading the team in 4 home runs, and is their second best hitter, I guess if you're looking at it that way, would be Randy
Arizona.
That's a tough. And I thought my name was hard to say, Gutierrez.
Right.
He's batting .326 and has 11 RBIs on the season already. The Rays as a team have scored now with these 3 runs today, have scored 92 runs. And the next closest team as of last night was 69 runs. So there's a huge gap there.
You want to see something cool? Look at their plus minus. I think you can go on the ESPN app and you look at the plus minus and they're just blowing everybody away.
Right. So you're talking about run differential.
Run differential, yeah.
Yeah. So if we
when I saw it, it was like plus 59 or 89 or something like that, and the next closest was like plus 39 or something. It was just outrageous.
The Rays are a plus 63. So not only are they scoring runs in bunches, but the pitching and the defense is shutting everybody down.
Right.
So This is an opinionated question for you, Sammy.
What's up?
Is this legit, or is this just a statistical fluke to start off the season? What do
It's
you
a fluke. It's way too early. Way too early. I'm big into fantasy baseball. I do a lot of that nerd stuff, and it's a cool story. It sets them up. I really haven't paid attention to the division standings yet, but you have to take into account they started off hot. Baseball is a game of hot runs. They say basketball is a game of runs because you can have a team, go on an 18-2 run, but then in the next quarter, the other team's going to go on a 16-4 run. I mean, it's just up and down, up and down. Baseball is too long of a season. The numbers bear themselves out. They'll come back to earth a little bit. But
well, I'll tell you, I had the runs once, and it was not fun.
It's not fun. No, I've had it more than once, and it's not fun. But no. I mean, it's a great story, and they're creating themselves a cushion for whenever they do fall back to earth. And that's the important thing is I don't know how good they are or aren't, but they've shown that they're always, or lately, they're going to be really legitimate, and they're a risk. They're a struggle for any team to face because they play solid baseball. They're not going to, blow everybody away with 4 home runs a game every week or every game, but you need to bring your lunch pill if you're going to, play these guys. And, that's Wander Franco, the dude is the truth. Randy Arozarena, he's not a flash in the pan. He's got power. He is good. He's not going to hit 320 plus all year long. He's known to strike out a ton, but he's on the ball right now, man. And everybody's hot. And that's the danger in baseball is when everybody's hot, that means when people start cooling off, the bottom falls out. So as someone else, say as Randy slows down, does somebody else get hot and carry them? If they do, man, they can make a run for a while.
So your point is definitely, I think, well received by the smart guys in Vegas. The opening odds on the Rays to make the World Series was plus 2,200. That has dropped or improved significantly or declined significantly. I don't know what the right phrase would be. It's now plus 1,200, so they're not even close to the favorites. The Astros, Braves, Yankees, Dodgers, Padres, and Blue Jays are all have much more favorite odds of making the World Series this year. So take that however
Put your money.
Like.
You know what? Pot odds. Put some money out there and just see what happens.
Yeah, I mentioned it to Josh. I said, dude, you're the gambler between all of us. You're a degenerate, Josh. You should put some money on the Rays. And he said it's too late. I don't think it's too late. I think you can still make a couple of bucks on it. And they have a really good shot. I think they've improved more than any other team on this list. That's for sure.
Yeah, so far I'm not keen on how what those odds mean, plus 2,200 plus or minus 100. I don't know what all that stuff means, but I just know that if you've got a team that are long odds and they started off this hot, and history says that teams like this have a chance, dude, if I knew how to put $50 down on them, I would. Yeah. What the heck?
Yeah, I don't know if you can do it in Texas. I know, definitely not in Florida. You have to find a sports book. There are some betting websites like betag.com. That's an international site. I guess they don't care about what state you're in, or they're exempt from the law because maybe they don't get in trouble. Maybe the person making the bet is going to get in trouble and I'm going to go to jail. But there are some states that do have sport books that you can go in, place a bet on whatever, and then go back home, right? If you're out of state, go back home to your place, and then they'll pay you out somehow. You just have to give them information.
I guess I don't understand that because I know you can bet on NFL games.
You can bet.
Can't you?
You can make bets in what are those sites? FanDuel and DraftKings.
Yeah.
But you can't make straight up bets you can't bet on the odds. The bets that you're allowed to make in FanDuel and DraftKings are considered a game of skill still. It's a game of skill. So because you have to select a team and you're going against other people, You're not just picking like these guys to win, period, with a over under and all that type of deal, which just amounts to
Gotcha.
luck, I guess. But Florida has a lottery, so I guess it just depends on. It's just
Yeah,
a
we
money
do too,
thing,
yeah.
right? They want to
Yeah.
be able to grab onto as much of that pie as possible.
Yeah.
So that's our baseball update for this week. I promised we weren't going to talk a lot about baseball, but this is just too big of a story to ignore for now.
Yeah, it's cool.
We
It's
can,
cool. You know what I think of when I think of Tampa? Years ago, there was a
Tampons?
pitcher. Yeah, there was a pitcher named Tony Saunders. He was a left-handed pitcher, and I want to say he was pitching against the Texas Rangers. I could be wrong on that, but he was on the mound pitching, and then in his follow-through, his arm broke in the follow-through. You can look it up on YouTube.
Oh,
It is
yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah, it is just gruesome. And every time I think of the Rays, they were the Devil Rays back then. That's what I think of. It was kind of early in their infancy. They're a newer baseball team, but yeah, that's what I think of with the Rays.
Yeah, I vaguely do remember that. That was 2000. That was a while ago. There's video of it that I'm gonna put up there. As you can see, he's just rolling around on the ground in pain. It broke mid-pitch. There was actually another pitcher, I can't think of his name. The exact same thing happened on the pitch. It was after he had recovered once. I guess he ended up having some type of cancer. Dave Trevecki, if that rings a name. I know
that,
the guy
Okay.
that it happened to first. But yeah,
Wow.
that's a great gruesome story to bring up. I don't know why you brought that up, but thanks for that.
Yeah, well, it's what I do.
Great. So we're gonna take another quick break. We'll be right back. We're gonna talk about we're gonna talk some John Wick. John Wick is
Dude,
blowing up the
my
box
gosh.
office.
When you get a restyled Honda CRV, you get more. You get a set of wheels that helps you go farther with less. A better view of your surroundings. And you're getting Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year. So visit your local Honda dealer today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and we are back. And
We are
better than
back, ladies and gentlemen.
ever. Back and better than ever. Here we are. I think I stole that from someone, but I won't give him credit for it because he's big time. in
No
Chump
copyrights
Change.
are needed.
Okay, as I mentioned, we're going to go over some interesting information regarding John Wick, the John Wick series. Sammy and I have both gone over the past, was it a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks now? I forget how
Yes,
long
sir.
ago when it came out.
I've actually seen it twice already now.
And Sammy has seen it twice, so
Yes,
he's
sir.
doing double the work, which is he's an overachiever. So
That's called
what I expect.
preparation. That's called
Preparation. So, John Wick 4, Chapter 4, the fourth movie in the series. The series started actually in was first released October 2014. It was not as well received as the most recent two films. The first one that came out in October of 14 raked in a meandering $43 million. Should do air quotes, meandering. Part 2 doubled it up. Part 3 hit 171 million worldwide, and it was just before COVID. Actually, it was a few months before COVID because it was in May of 19. And then Part 4, which came out this year, just a few weeks ago, is right now already up to $150 million in ticket sales.
And it was supposed to come out it was supposed to come out either during COVID or last year, but COVID delayed it.
Yes, they definitely delayed it because I remember seeing the original story was it would have been a horrible thing to do. I think it was going to come out really close to Matrix, the Matrix, whatever it was called,
Reloaded.
Reloaded was like 20 years ago. It's what's the other R word when you're reborn?
Matrix.
Was it reincarnated or something like that? I don't know.
No, but Matrix.
Resurrection.
Yeah,
Matrix Resurrection was.
There you go.
Is and will always be the worst movie of the four in the series.
I enjoyed it. I my bar is so low on what I enjoy, so I enjoyed it. Whatever.
I don't understand completely what they were doing. I know they wanted to try and make a little more money on it. What they should have done is, and what a lot of other IPs are doing, is instead of building forward and adding more and more sequels, build sideways.
Right.
So what you see, and Disney has mastered this with Star Wars. They built a bunch of universes going out sideways.
Expand the universe. Well, I mean, we're gonna get back into John Wick 4, but they're starting to do that with the franchise.
Yep.
So
a John Wick spin-off. They're building sideways and they're going backwards too, because I guess it's kind of like a prequel. It's going to be called, I think it's a 4 or 6 part series. It's going to be on Paramount. The Continental, starring Mel Gibson,
I'm pumped.
Their next big thing coming out. I'm pumped too. I really want to see it. I know my son has been talking about it. He also saw, and you mentioned this earlier when I was talking to you, Sammy, you said that there's another, actually, is it a movie spinoff or what, what's the detail with it? So
it's a movie, Ballerina.
The Ballerina. And
just Ballerina.
Just Ballerina. Okay.
I think, yeah. With Ana de Armas. Oh.
Ana de Armas. My son did tell me something about that too. He said that John Wick will have a cameo in that one. I guess
Lance Riddick is in that. So R.A.P.
Riddick before he died. That's interesting.
Before he died. Riddick actually is going to be in a few movies. He's got a lot of stuff that's already been filmed, so he'll be around for a little while. And then the dude who plays Winston, I forget his name. He's in it too, so they're kind of setting it up for the Ballerina. So yeah, pumped. Okay. Both of that stuff. I can't get enough of that world.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's very smartly thought out, because in John Wick 3 Parabellum, which is the only one that has a secondary name to the movie, I don't know why. There was a very detailed scene when he goes into the like a dance hall, and there's all these ballerinas. The girl rips out her toenail. My daughter thinks it's absolutely disgusting. She's had a toenail fall out herself because she does ballet. But when you're on point on those boxes, if you don't have your toes perfectly trimmed, or I don't know what causes it, but she lost a toenail. It's grown back now. I don't think she had the intestinal fortitude to rip it out like the girl did in the movie. That was pretty intense, but it sets it up for something that I think is going to be interesting, because I have no idea what's going to go on in this movie, but I feel like these ballerinas or the ballerina is going to be one badass assassin.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about the franchise is, no spoilers about what happens in 4, but the universe does not need John Wick to be John Wick. It's just a cool universe that they've set up. And so anything can happen within the people that they've introduced, and they got really cool characters. And I don't know, makes me want to go see John Wick 4 again. That is the third time. Dude, that is the wickiest Wick John has ever wicked, man. That was just so fun.
My son was talking about it for the longest time, and then even after he watched it, he called us immediately and started telling us, not story wise, but just some of the shots that they did. There was an amazing extended shot that was all overhead. That was absolutely amazing.
I'm not convinced that wasn't CGI, dude.
I don't think it's CGI. They figured out how to. There was definitely cuts, because you can't just shoot that without cutting. But they figured out how to make it look like it's a one cut piece,
man,
just like the movie 1918, I think it was, where it looks like it's all one take.
Right.
That type of cinematography is absolutely amazing. I don't know how these guys do it. If I even tried, mine would look like a movie from like 1905, probably.
Right. No, that scene, that was one of the. I think I told y'all that there's a scene in there that was one of the coolest scenes I've ever seen, and you'll know it when you see it.
It was that one.
And it was that one. Yeah. And if I didn't say that in the chat, then I meant to, because I was thinking it.
I think you might have, or I tapped into your mind and
all right,
connection.
All right.
But the way that part 4 ends, and they, I'm gonna have to bleep that out so people don't know what I'm saying.
All right. Well, it's open ended. Well, I know, but it is open ended. Yeah. They because they've talked about, do they want to bring him back, and he's not going to do it for a while, but. Who knows? So
the problem is you have an aging Keanu Reeves. He's 58, I believe.
58, dude.
I believe he's 58. My only negative comment that I'll have about the John Wick movie is Keanu Reeves should not be running on screen. He's not Tom Cruise.
He's an awkward. He runs like Phoebe from Friends.
Yes,
anybody.
that's probably the best example of it. I'm gonna put up a quick clip of Phoebe running. I don't know if I can find one of John Wick running, but that does remind me of that. I just saw that episode a couple nights ago, so that's awesome.
That's funny. Take the superhero stuff out of it. There's still a lot of original ideas in movies these days.
Yep. And speaking of new and original, Josh has decided to go to a play which is not new or original. So we're going to talk about that after this last break and see how much we can, what was the term you used?
Kick him in the crotch.
Kick him in the crotch. We'll be right back.
Comienza la temporada cuando la temperatura cambia un poquito y empiezas a sacar años de memorias y alegría navideña. Sale la cazuela y el olor del lechón llena el aire. En Pollo Tropical, tus tradiciones también son las nuestras, como las masitas de puerco. Te traemos esa comida casera de tu cocina a la nuestra. Deja que nuestra familia cocine para tu familia en Pollo Tropical.
Life looks great with Tampax Pearl. Its built-in backup braid helps stop leaks by channeling them back into the core, protecting you in a way no other tampon does. Tampax, power over periods.
All right, we're back. So here we go. Josh was not able to make it today. He went to a play with his daughter in the Strauss Center, which is a big theater in Tampa, and he is watching right now as we speak To Kill a Mockingbird, which is still allowed in Florida. Governor DeSantis has not blocked us on that just yet. But Sammy, you want to kick someone in the crotch? This is your rapid fire. Give it to him.
Dude, the only thing I'm kicking in the crotch for is for bailing on the podcast itself. Les Mis is great. Les Mis. To Kill a Mockingbird is great. He mentioned Les Mis. To Kill a Mockingbird is great. No issues at all going. But the only time we're ever going to get Josh is as a special guest from now on, apparently. And that sucks. I'm going to miss the guy. We still have the chat. R.I.P. Josh.
Yeah. I'm not gonna kick him too hard because he is taking his daughter, and he told me it was a Christmas present. So that's nice that Josh is the number one dad in that family. I'm the number one dad in this family. I'm sure, Sammy, you're the number one dad in yours.
Top 2 or 3.
Yeah, you're up there, right? But like you said, he abandoned us. He left us high and dry. I don't know if we're ever gonna get him back. Here's in memoriam to our good friends, Josh Stagner. Also, yes, your phone is crystal clear. It's probably better than the glare I got coming off my head right now. I don't know what's up.
Dude, that glare is great. It almost looks like
no glare. Glare.
I was confused. I don't know.
Easily confused. That's what happened. When we get over 45 years old, we start getting confused easily. You gotta blow your nose or something. You look at your
no,
a couple
dude,
lines.
I have a hair. It's just itching me. I have a hair in my nose, and